Hello everybody and welcome to this fun exercise in which I'm going to show you how we could use VizcomAI to upload a set of photos of the same chair from different viewpoints, create then a 3D model based on selected views, and rotate this one, pause it, then use the real-time render engine and playing with the drawing and palette influence to instantly already create new interpretations. To create then more refinements, we will go ahead and start painting additional modifications to it, processing it into then a new rendering, and then have some serious fun by using the variation and expression tool to create this really fun exploration of the same chair or these same three chairs by, for example, telling it should have holes, it should be tall, it should be round, should be exploding, or for example, hippie, it should be melting, it should be kind of like faceted or soft, tall. No, you see, based on what you tell the AI, it will try to interpret what you want. And as you can see, the more you mix and the more you experiment, the more unusual and really elegant, or at times also very humorous results you can get out of this. And with all that said, let me show you how to do it. But before we get started, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification button so you will never miss any upcoming video. And now let's really get started. So as you can see, I'm inside Vizcom on the left side. On the right side, I am inside my downloads folder. By using the link in the description of the video, I downloaded the reference images, unzip them, and we have set 1 and 2. Those images I would like to get into a Vizcom workspace environment. So we can click new file, then we go to workbench, and then from the desktop we can simply drag in all these images. If you are on a mobile device and dragging doesn't really work very well, you can always just make a new workbench and then here use the plus icon and go with the upload an image function. Let's go full screen. You see I have multiple views of the same chair, also photographed at 2 different days. Left side more softer, the right side is not in an overcast clear sky, so I have a stronger contrast between shadows and illumination. In general, I would try to shoot in an environment like on the left side if you want to create 3D models of your object. To create 3D models, we can only select 5 images from each of these sets, or up to 5 images. The more different views you can show, the more you help the AI. This one is good, this is good, this is good, this one is good, and this one I like more than this one because it shows also the lag here. So this one I move out because otherwise it's pretty much the same. Then we can select all images, right click and say add selection as layers in Studio. And then here is that new file. Now, if on a mobile device that doesn't really work as easily or you struggle with it, you can also only just upload one image, double click, go into it, and then here you use upload an image and then add the images inside the layers. On the right side, this is good, this is good, this is nice, this is nice. So I will select those. And then it's a question which of those here we want to pay more attention to. I will select this one, right click, and then there is the studio. When I go in, all these images we have to select and group. And then we can create a 3D model from multiple view. We can hide this, switch this to a dark gray background, because watching a white chair on a white background isn't very easy on your eyes. Same here. And there we are. Turn that off. Beautiful. Cool. You can use whatever type of gray. I just simply used 6 because kind of like 9 goes up to really bright, and 0 goes like, or 1 goes really dark. So pick the gray color, you'll find good. And this is the file where we created the first model. That one will be done first. So we have to wait for a second till that model is done. And there it is. Beautiful. So we can scale this one up. We can switch to the mesh view. Then we don't see the texture. We can rotate around. It looks pretty good. Quite accurate to the input images, but we see some sharp edges here. You can try this one out, maybe with a different set or order, or simply make a new model. Sometimes you will get different results, so something to experiment with. Let's take a look how this one here looks. And there we are. So the legs are a little bit more faceted. The rest is quite round. Also here we have a crease. Let's go back and take a look there. I would say the other one I like more, because also here, this is a plastic that goes into the leg. I have a better separation of leg and plastic material with the set here, where we photographed this a little bit in a softer environment. Very good. So let's make a copy of this. We are starting now to create our first AI variation of this chair by using simply the render engine and using drawing and palette influence strengths. So I will rotate this into a nice position. You can also play with the perspective focal length here. As this is very wide, this is more orthographic. It's really up to you to play with. For example, product renderings, very often I go with 55 something. And then you could use the describe button to tell you what you see, or we can just simply write it ourselves. That's also very good practice. Let's go to live render. We then see here the live render preview. Let's undock it, scale this up. On an iPad, I didn't really figure out yet how to do the scaling. And we want to go back here to this view. We can see what's the difference. Okay, good. Let's say, so materials, white plastic. We start very basic. Okay, and brown wooden legs. Look at that, beautiful. Comma, the environment. I don't want this to be in a white environment. Gray background. Very good. You notice that because of this artifact here, also there, we have an artifact. These things sometimes then we have to fix. Out of curiosity, what happens if we switch? Oh, look at that. You see, this way it understood that is plastic, that is wood. That's actually pretty cool, and that issue got fixed. But now you also have this faceting issue there. So it's up to you now to play around with this. But this actually seems to work really well. We can rotate this a little bit more. You see then the live render updates everything for us. Pretty nice. Okay. Sometimes what can happen that this area here will be filled or kind of like slightly white. That's okay. We want that actually to be filled soon anyway. So, okay. We have now more or less a replication of the original chair. How do we now create variations? We have drawing influence and we have palette influence. Let me go to palette. That is essentially how much the original color input will be used to render it. Now you see here, this is more the original piece, and then we go to the palette influence. And then drawing influence, that means how much it is going to, how could I say that? Use the input to be very close to the input or create something completely on its own. Oh, like this. We can also guess where the training data comes from. When we now slowly go up with the drawing influence, you can see that we are randomly generating new interpretations of this chair. Oh, look at there. There's actually filled. That's what I was talking about. Or if I go to this one or here, I notice very often you can get different results with this too, based on how you're mixing these two palettes together. So I want to have something where this back actually is nearly filled. So yeah, like this. Very good. And then I click on add layer. It will add a layer there. I don't want to use this one right now, so I will turn this one off. Now I'm back to this one. Let's go to here. The middle one. I'm going to play with this a little bit and see what I'm getting. So this is a little bit hit and miss. You will not get exactly the same type of influence, sorry, the same result back like I'm doing. So just be aware of that. Maybe there. What happens if I go really low? I just want to check this for a second. Okay. Oh, this is this is kind of cool actually. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to add this one at one point. And then let's see. Oh, look at that. Oh, there, something like this, where it's nice, a nice filled piece. And click add. Very good. Perfect. Then we can exit the workbench. We created 3 different interpretations, and I would like to have each as a new file. So as you can see, I am making copies of them, and then I will delete the pieces I don't want. Here, this I delete. And then here, that one goes, and that one goes. Okay. You can see that the image quality is pretty grainy because that was from the live render, and that's more meant as a quick sketch, but we can fix this by using the enhance function. So we can go into each workspace, click on enhance, exit the workbench. So I'm at studio. And then when everything is done, we will get a new layer that's enhanced, and that cleans everything up really amazingly. There. Looks pretty cool. I mean, some other cool stuff is happening there, but it's all good. So before, after, that's actually a really nice model already. Yeah, there. Cool. Okay, so in this case, you can see here this background area, and there's also detail. So now we need to fix this, and we also want to smooth things out and make these parts wider. So what we did first now was simply create these different versions by the render engine, and now we can go ahead and start drawing, adding more to it. I can create, if I want to make a duplicate, or also in the history, by the way, I have all the models that later should be put in, but no, I shouldn't have said that because I made a copy, so the history is not there. So let's actually make a copy of that thing. Perfect. So here, now we go to Magic Eraser and we erase that stuff. Oh, I should have been more patient because I created a new layer and that canceled the Magic Eraser process. There it is. Looks pretty good, no? But it's still, for the computer, they still see the color difference. So we need to address this later. Here, this is terrible. So we go to the brush, we go to a new layer. Then we want to pick a color that is very close. Let's say there. We can zoom in with the mouse wheel. Right click, make the brush bigger, make the brush also, whoops, sorry, I hit my go back button on my mouse. So one more time and right click. Yeah, hardness, turn this one on so you can draw it smoother lines. And then you see here how I'm fixing this, maybe a little bit of that gray. Yeah, maybe a little bit smaller, a little bit softer. And the more transitions I sketch over, the cleaner it will be. Cool. Okay. This looks very noticeable. Don't worry. It's all good. Here now I would like to make this bigger. So I sample this color. I can make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to draw. Follow this line and then draw this one down with the mouse. From here I come there and then I fill the inside out. Very nice. I will make a smaller line. There's a nice brighter highlight on this edge, which I'm trying to draw along here. If you do this actually on an iPad, it is 10 times easier. Let's clean this up a little bit. Ooh, this one needs to be straighter. Yeah, okay, good. Now, to refine this, we can go to the refine command. Also here, we can just write in white plastic and brown wood, gray background, for example. Let's go maybe to 80%. And the lower the percentage, the more we allow the AI to change proportions a little bit. But the nice thing about refine is it is keeping my object. So There's something happening. I'm not really satisfied, so I will go down to a lower drawing influence. See, that actually interesting. It turned this more into a sharp edge. That is quite cool. It was unexpected. That's also the beauty of AI. So we get other interpretations. We have two things there. Here, this is software. So based on the result you have, go ahead and pick. This seems to be more in line what I was looking for. So I click add, but I see now also the legs here the legs got changed a lot. It's okay. Let's do that. So I turned the square as the round into square. Yeah, we actually via drawing over it created now a new version of that share. To document this, I can make a copy, go back to here, and actually all these I could delete, show the first one. So I know this is my raw starting point. That's maybe what I should have done. Here, let's make a copy of this one and make a copy of that one too. In this version, we cleaned everything up when we filled stuff in. What happens now if we select this? And we can continue exploring with this. Let's click on the describe button to see what we or to describe what we see. Go to the live button, gray background again. Just so you know, we can continue playing actually with these settings and see what it is generating. Oh, we know that share from somewhere. If, for example, we would like to use this tool to continue exploring this design a little bit, I could click the enhance. This will work, and then it will create a new enhance button. While this one works, I will go to this one. So this is actually really nice. And here we will use the modify command. With the modify command, we can change expressions. If I click back to here, we can create variation. Then that is like really, really super fun. This is then more experimental. Here we draw more. Here now we use variables to change it. I think the processing here is also done. So let's quickly jump back, because what I will do now is I will go to a new layer. I will select my brush, then I will click, hold the Alt Option key and sample the background, or you could use the eyedropper. And then what we're going to do is let's add some holes. Oh, this is way too soft. So maybe make some fun patterns, no? Variation is always cool. There, cool, awesome, workbench. And from this, what you see, I can actually now create a new 3D model again. So I go ahead. I could say here, for example, go to there and say detailed sharp, and then it will take that to create a new 3D model. While this one is processing, that 3D model is not in there yet. I will go back to modify in this case, connect this, and go to the new view. And you see we have here very different views, like rear, for example, or top, bottom, front, front. So front, three view, three-quarter view. We can then create different views. Now, this is from the back, from the front. Look at that. That's actually quite cool how it is taking that input and then trying to create different views of that design. Okay, very good. Now let's have fun with the variation tool. So we plug this one in. Our big question now is, how are we going to play with this? How do we want to explore this? And this is where we literally can burn hours on it in a good way. It's kind of fun. So if I take a look at this chair and I would like to change this, if I go to expression, you can see I have complex and simple, organic and geometric, proportions, tall, short, narrow. I have massing, light, airy, dense, soft, sharp, symmetry, asymmetry, smooth or faceted, broken. Yeah, let's say what happens when I say, give me one broken. Okay. Symmetry, how could this look if I make this asymmetrical? How would this look when we would say this is angular or sharp? And based on where you move this is, for example, very angular and very sharp. This is very angular. This is a little angular. It is round. Okay. What's the difference between round and soft? I don't know. So let's give this a test. Airy could be interesting, or heavy. Proportions is always really fun. Tall, narrow, or wide. This actually is an easy way to make furniture for children. We have geometric or organic. What about complex or simple? And you see here are all the additional variations that are being produced. I select them all, move them to there, and yeah, take a look at them. Now you see this is very broken, so it started to facet it. This is very asymmetrical. Oh, I don't know. Very angular, slightly angular, but very sharp. Yep, definitely very sharp. This is very rounded, very soft, airy, starts to always make holes, very heavy, thickens it up. Well, tall, narrow, wide, very geometric. What is this one? Very simple, no? Kind of similar, very organic. And what do we have here? Very complex. And another option, what we have is also when we use the modify tool, we go to change expression. We could, for example, here select this chair and then say, how would this look when this is calm or happy or actually angry? Can wait for a moment. And when you test this, also test this with various chairs, not always the same chair. So this is angry. It gets very, very linear, calm, happy. Oh, that's interesting. Now how it changed this, made it more softer. But then when we go to this one, we can write our own expression. Let's say melting or exploding. What about luxurious? Whoops. Spelling is always good. Modern. What about hippie. So you could make references to cultures. Nope, there is exploding, luxurious. Oh, look at that. No, it put gold trim and everything on it. This is modern. Here's hippie, of course. Who would have guessed? We could say melting. What about fluid? What would be cheap? Uh, technical. There. This is very experimental. You might really get very different results, and even with the same chair, you might get different results. So just be aware of it. Oh, look at this technical. That looks really, really cool. Cheap. Yeah, it's just white plastic. That is fluid. I pulled this one out. Melting. No? So um I would like to do one more session. I will go to the modify tool here one more time. And let's say I will, in this case here, I will use this and put it in there. And then go to here. We have what I covered already, but these names we can actually overwrite. So let's say I will say holds and put this to there and there and there. So you can write really in your own descriptions or tiny holds. I put them under each other because they're essentially using the same sequence, so you understand why I did this. Let's wait a moment. And there they are. Slightly geometric with holds, very organic with holds. Organic makes everything more like grown. See, very tiny holes. So holes, tiny holes. And very organic, very tiny holes. No, so you see, it's really the AI responds to what you write in and then how you are moving these sliders around. Beautiful. Okay, I think that is a very good introduction to the method you could use to create a 3D model based on a set of images, then using the real-time render engine and use sliders to create already different interpretations. And then, yeah, use different views or the expression and variation tool to then really, really have fun with these different results. And one thing what you can do now, as I also did here, so this is one result, and then I continued using that result and applying this to or creating more variations and processing it. And this is the same thing you could always do with one. So create something that's very organic, and then maybe you turn this back into something simple or static or angry or luxurious. Okay. And don't forget, you should really have fun with this. And with all that said, that's it.